This video we're about to be reacting to is Patrick CC, The Death of the Mainstream. I got tired of talking about these fucking streamers, so let's talk about mainstream. You may hear the fucking movie in the back. It's my house, I can do what I want, but it's Jurassic World, so. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this reaction, man.
More high quality content available than ever before, and yet most people feel like there is something missing. There was once a time where it felt like we were all on the same wavelength when it came to entertainment and pop culture. Everything felt more impactful. Movies were bigger, music spread further, famous people were actually famous, awards meant something, and if there was a shocking story in the news, it was impossible to miss. It was much easier to have your finger on the pulse of pop culture, and it created this bond that we had together as strangers, and we took it for granted because now that that bond is gone, the world of entertainment, music, movies, shows, social media feels oversaturated, confusing, and dull. I bet most of you can relate to this. How many times these days does someone say to you, "Hey, did you hear about," or "Hey, did you see," and not only is your answer no, but you literally have no idea what they are talking about. Life wasn't always like that. What we are missing today and for the past few years is a monoculture, which is essentially one culture that all Americans are connected to. Sometimes I even call it the death of mainstream, because nothing really feels mainstream anymore. Every decade had their own version of monoculture that was seemingly easily defined, but what will define the 2020s? Monoculture is dead, and for anyone watching this that's like a teenager or younger, it means nothing because they can't relate to that experience. But literally anyone older than that remembers their version of monoculture and probably misses it because it represents a much more simple time.
This is what I can remember of the monoculture he is talking about or referring to. For my monoculture is being outside with my siblings, being able to hit the ripstick or the scooter, leaving, and this is during the summer, leaving my pops' crib, going to the Ameristop, going to the Clippers skate park, sometimes going over to the parking lot where it used to be. I forgot what it used to be. No, not Big Lots. No, maybe I think it used to be Big Lots. Either way, being able to travel around, freedom, not have to worry about no bills, and just having a good time. Also waking up at like 6, 7 in the morning, watching old school cartoons like Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Ed and Eddie, Tom and Jerry, or watching some Disney Channel, or watching some Nickelodeon, old school SpongeBob, Camp Lazlo, fucking Danny Phantom, Drake and Josh, that shit. And a lot of people of my age can reminisce. Even Stevens, Hannah Montana, which is regularly placed. A lot of people my age can reminisce, and I feel like that's what he's talking about when he's talking about monoculture. Being outside when you're outside, enjoying time, having the freedom to do whatever you want, playing football, doing whatever. Them fucking push popsicles, being able to do that. You're not allowed to run in and out the house. Either you're going to be in the house or you're going to stay outside. That's it. Fucking Captain Crunch for breakfast. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Burning the roof of your fucking mouth, but it's just busting. You got 2 or 3 different bowls of it. The TV trays out. Like that type of shit, that's what he means by monoculture. Today's day and age, you don't got that anymore. Because, I mean, you put a tablet in front of these kids' faces, and then everybody else is so addicted to Twitter and Instagram and trying to do the club culture and shit like that. Like, you don't have any more family dinners. Don't go out as a family as much. Everybody's doing their own thing because everybody's worrying about bills and work and all this other shit. Or they want to be outside and want to drink and figuring out how to deal with this thing so-called life. And people run away from that by going into either social media or going to the movies or just trying to do anything else but they're enjoying their life but not how they should. I mean, enjoying the simple things in life, having gratitude and stuff like that.
Generation before Gen Alpha had limited options for entertainment, and they thought it was a burden, flipping through TV channels saying, oh, there's nothing to watch. But now our options are infinite. 3.7 million YouTube videos uploaded every day, one streaming service with every song ever made, and 100,000 new songs being uploaded every day.
It's exactly it's exactly like going to a restaurant having endless options. I know my options. I love my options. And what I usually do is I get the same thing every single fucking time. I already know. Hold on, I forgot my necklace. I'll be right back.
Subscription services with thousands of movies and TV shows, a literal endless singular feed of short-form videos that one can spend hours without realizing the time has passed. And despite having access to all of this content, a lot of us feel bored and disconnected from each other. Well, today I want to talk about that feeling. That feeling like something is missing. I believe it is tied to the death of monoculture. So let's dive into how we got here, where it went wrong, and actually why some of you might consider it to be a good thing. Entertainment has always evolved based on the available technology. The easier it is to consume, the less impactful it is. Movie theater ticket sales had their all-time peak in the US in 1946. Over 90 million weekly admissions were recorded, which means that
I totally forgot too, bro. Even like fucking going to the movies, even going out to eat, going like if you're in a suburb or rural area, going downtown, just walking around, enjoying the city views, like that shit is like monoculture too.
About 60% of the U.S. population went to go see a movie that year. Now, were movies objectively better in 1946? Absolutely not. There were just less of them, and less entertainment overall. The introduction of the television likely slowed down movie ticket sales, but opened up a whole new opportunity for entertainment. Cartoons, sitcoms, and of course, ads. You've probably never heard of Spokio, Truthfinder, or Been Verified, but they've definitely heard of you. These are data brokers. Their entire business model.
Laffy Taffy is smooth, creamy, and knows what cows hum.
Music.
StockX is here.
You know what I noticed too, bro?
From iconic sneakers to backpacks, hats.
Model is collect.
You know what I fucking noticed too that I'm pissed off about? So earlier when I started cleaning up my crib around like 8, 9 o'clock, I was watching DJ Academics' stream, and he records his live stream on his Academy channel. So I was listening to it while I was cleaning. Literally no ads for the first, because it was like a 3-hour stream. No ads for the first maybe 2.5 hours. As soon as it hit like around 10, I mean not even 10, 9:30 to 10. Bro, ads just kept coming out the fucking ass, bro. Like every 5 to 10 minutes, like it was an actual like live stream, and it was just a already recorded one. I'm like, how the fuck you go an hour without having any ads? And then as soon as it hits this certain time, then you're gonna start doing ads out the ass, bro. I already know what it is. It's the fucking algorithm knowing what times I usually go and watch YouTube. That's how they getting their money. And that shit pisses me the fuck off. I'm like, bro, why do I keep getting fucking ads? I just had to share it. I had to ramble. That shit pissed me off, though.
Your personal info and selling it to anyone willing to pay. They provide reports like this that have information about you, including your contact info, address, your relatives, and maybe even what car you drive. This stuff isn't just floating around by accident. It's being packaged, indexed, and sold legally right now. Data brokers are selling our private information without our consent. They make no attempt to stop scammers, spammers, or stalkers from buying it. The government does nothing to stop them. These data brokers are literally laughing all the way to the bank, probably paying off politicians, so this continues to remain legal. That's why I started using Aura, who's sponsoring this video. Aura finds the data brokers exposing your info and automatically sends opt-out requests to get it taken down. You don't need to fill out dozens of forms because Aura does it for you. Aura also monitors the dark web, alerts you if someone's trying to use your info for credit fraud, and comes with a VPN and password manager. And if something does happen, you're covered with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and 24/7 US-based fraud support to help you fix it fast. You can try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/PatrickCC. That's more than enough time to start getting your information removed from these sketchy sites.
Bro, literally at first, bro, I was like, is this even a part of the fucking video? I got confused, but then I was like, let me go ahead and maybe it is a part of the video. It wasn't. It's a fucking ad. He did it smooth, though. not even gonna cap. So I'm like, you know what? What's a long ass ad? All right.
Even television has its limitations. You had to watch the show at the exact time it aired, or you missed it and had to wait for someone to tell you what happened the next day. Or even worse, you had to
Yeah.
read this book called the TV Guide to figure out when they were going to air a rerun. Plus, there were only a few channels, so competition for attention was fierce. But that also meant that millions of
Hey, this is
people
some
were
old school shit, man. I didn't go through this. I had the TV guy on up, Direct TV and Time Warner Cable and shit like that, to where I'd know, hey, this is when it's coming back on. Oh, let me record this. If I don't miss it, am I gonna be here? Da 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 da.
watching
I
the
ain't
same
have this.
thing
I
at
had
the
to go
same
through the
time.
fucking
With most households
newspaper
operating
and
on
shit
9
like
to
that.
5 work schedules, the only time carved out to entertain yourself was between 7 and 10. This was known as prime time, and that's when the few good shows were on. Families watched the same things together, and a
See,
new episode airing at 8 p.m. on a weeknight could dominate school hallways and office break rooms the next day. Worst case scenario, you could stay up for late night television where Letterman would catch you up on all your pop culture news. We were connected as humans, kind of operating on the same wavelength, and the entertainment added to our humanity.
Damn, he's
That
been in the
is,
game for that
unless
long,
you
huh?
were entirely disinterested from the few available shows and movies, then you had no other options, your life sucked, and you were looking for other forms of entertainment like heroin. But at least back then, it didn't have fentanyl in it. But the way people consumed movies and televisions stayed relatively the same for decades. By the 1970s, 95% of households had a TV in it. And then in the 80s and 90s, there
Hey,
was a
shout out to
massive
my old school
uptick in
blacks that had
available
TV, man.
entertainment, like an entire TV channel dedicated.
Now, one thing I can say about the old school blacks that had TV, I do feel bad for them. Like if they had it like the 70s and 80s. And towards the 85, they started to have more blacks on TV, more melanated people on TV. But like, man, when the TV come out, what, like 1940s or something like that? The first TV, I don't know, but it was all white shows. I don't think it was until like the 1980s when they actually had like, Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, like like a majority black cast and stuff like that. And there still wasn't a lot of TV shows like that. It was more of the 90s. Like the 90s is where fucking Living Single, Living in Color, what else? Fresh Prince, Martin. I mean, there's more. Malcolm and Eddie, the Wayans Bros. Like, that's when the majority black shows actually had. So, like, once it got to 1980, like the mid 1980s, 1990s, and shit like that, that's when everything was popping for the black culture. But before that, I mean, you got people, you got some melanated artists, melanated actors and actresses on the TV screen here and there. You're more likely to see them on fucking movies. But there's still going to be a majority with white audience or a white cast and stuff like that. So
to showing music videos, or an entire channel dedicated to showing cartoons. But even with more niche
Mainly, I just
options,
watch
primetime
cartoons.
shows still dominated pop culture, and Americans still felt a sense of togetherness through a somewhat limited availability. Is music not hitting
I
the
still
same
don't think
anymore?
Prince is funny.
Doesn't it feel
I
like
ain't
you
gonna
used
lie.
to have a connection with others based on a shared love for the same music? Well, music had a similar permeating connection to monoculture with a few key
I'ma drink me some
differences.
life
For
and
most
water.
of the 20th century, music was somewhat of a luxury. Today, for $15 a month, you can get access to every song ever made and 100,000 new ones uploaded daily. $15 used to get you one album, and you had to take your happy ass to a record store and physically buy it. And if the album was in high enough demand, they might not actually have it. And that seems like a dumb thing to say, but in our modern culture,
Shout out to
entertainment
Suja.
is never not available to you. These stores often had a strong sense of community and served as a gathering place for music fans.
Shout out to
It wasn't
Blockbuster,
unusual
man.
for artists to stop in and play mini concerts or sign albums before an appearance in a particular city. When people bought an album, they were now invested. They worked hard for that money. So to get the value back, they actually listened to the whole thing. They even tried to like the songs that they didn't initially like because they paid for it, which ultimately made them appreciate the artistry on a different depth. This uninterrupted focus on the music built a deeper connection from the fans to the artist. Fans had to imagine what their favorite musicians were like based on lyrics, a few interviews, and carefully staged photographs in magazines or posters on their wall.
what the fuck? That nigga look like he definitely do crack or some type of cocaine or something. So pale. That nigga gives off like the old school like Victorian. I think that's what it is. The Victorian look. I was about to say Victorian vampire look. He looks like the old school like Victorian look. A whole bunch of fucking makeup. Looks pale as fuck. Looks like he shouldn't be outside if he is outside. Oh, this David Bowie. I don't know who the fuck that is. Oh, that's a random white dude.
There was a mystique.
About,
Pop
is that
stars
David
felt
Bowie? Like, I
larger
knew who
than
the
life,
fuck David
almost
Bowie
like
is.
fictional
Heard the name,
characters, which is why people would pass out at the mere sight of Michael Jackson. Today we have countless interviews and endless access to
them niggas had to see Michael Jackson for like $5. Lucky for them, bro.
all of their thoughts and opinions on social media. That mystery is gone. Artists are more accessible than ever, and because of that, they feel less special. And since music was basically a luxury, most people didn't have tons of disposable income to buy every release they wanted to listen to, so they typically resorted to listening to the radio or watching MTV. You couldn't just search your favorite Guns N' Roses song and get that instant gratification. You had to turn on MTV and just wait for it to come on, but in the meantime, you were consuming tons of other good songs that made you a more well-rounded music listener. And that was the same predicament for everyone. So at school dances, parties, or clubs, everyone felt connected because the songs that were being played were the ones that everyone had the same access to. A lot of club DJs today still mostly play music from the 2010s, and a lot of people wonder why they aren't playing more modern.
Do you know what's really fun? Making a website on Wix.
Modern music. Like,
this is a 24-minute video. We had already 4 ads in the span of 8 minutes, bro. And I keep pausing it, so like it's not an ad because I'm talking, but it's like, come on now. But I'm not saying I'm glad the ad stopped the video. Sorry, I saw a bug. Now, with music being more accessible and stuff like that, and more convenient, I actually can say that I like it like this rather than having to wait until like figuring out last minute or figuring out later that somebody's dropping. I prefer like going on Twitter and knowing that Tyler is dropping in like a couple weeks, or that Drake is dropping, or Frank Ocean is never dropping. I actually like to go. I like that it's very convenient to where they can go ahead and share and post that they about to drop. So I have to disagree with Patrick CC on that. That it takes away from music. Honestly, I think that makes the anticipation better and more, especially if they haven't dropped in a while. And I can definitely say that. I mean, with all the music, yeah, we do get to choose what type of music we want to listen to. And honestly, I'm the type of person where I like to listen to the same thing. And if I get tired of it, I'll go ahead and if there's an artist that has been featured on something that I've listened to with the artist I like, I would go out of my way and listen to them. And then, if I fuck with it, I'm about to go and add you to my motherfucking playlist.